TikTok, social media. Do you let your officers do TikTok or anything in uniform?
Mm-hmm.
You do?
Yeah, sure.
That's different. Okay, so explain that, please.
Well, we need the personalities of these cops to be out there, people to understand that cops are everybody, right? They're not just one robot. And I think social media is the way to do it.
That is, I've never heard of departments being okay with that. Are you one of the only departments that you would say in your area that feels that way?
No, there are a lot of, I was one of the first in my county. Well, let me rephrase that. I was the first in my county to do that. There are departments that are allowing their officers to do social media under the guise of the department for recruiting and stuff like that. But a personal account, they're starting to get to that point, but not, it's not as like me. I don't care as long as it's nothing controversial or brings any bad light to the department. I don't care what you put on there. I don't care what.
Is that your stance? You're like, hey, look, if it comes on my desk and we have to talk about it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk this out. Like, you know what I'm saying? If it's something stupid, like this is my thing. I give all of my employees a rope to hang themselves with, right?
Fair enough, yeah.
No pun intended. But when it comes down to it, you're a grown man. You know what's going to be controversial. You know what's going to be okay and what's not going to be okay. If you're going to be the one to put it up there and risk your job by putting it up there, I'm sorry. I mean, that's just what it is.
You got to deal with the consequences.
Right, because TikTok and social media is just like being out in the streets these days. Right? If you're doing it out in the streets and it's going to get you fired, it's going to get you fired on TikTok too.
Okay. You know, when I was offered 2 positions, 2 years ago for police departments, that was one of the things they were like, more than likely you're not going to be able to keep your social media stuff that you're doing and being so outspoken. And, in 2022 or 2023, 24, like you're saying, I've always thought that, like, man, if you want people, especially young people, to even think about getting into law enforcement, you have to give them a different side of it than what they're getting from the news, because the news is so one-sided. Most of the kids here, and when I say kids, I mean anybody from 25 down, their view of law enforcement here in Portland, it's so negative. So if you don't have somebody that's out there, putting a counter narrative out there, there's not going to be anybody to join the force, and it's already dwindled as it is,
Yeah, man, it's bad. It's bad.